Hi friends. Did you know that today is a triple special day? It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's the first day of the week of prayer for Christian unity, and it's my birthday. I'm going to say more about the week of prayer for Christian unity as we move through this week. So today I want to focus on Martin Luther King Jr. and share with you part of his letter from a Birmingham jail that speaks to unity. By the way, I went to the same seminary from which Martin Luther King Jr. earned his doctorate. And sometimes I would sit in the library at a table or a desk and imagine that he may have sat in that same place. And thinking to myself that although we are very different times, different backgrounds, different experiences, different skin color, we are called by the same God to work for justice and for peace in the world. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and a leader in the civil rights movement. He advocated using nonviolent means to end racial segregation. And he actually became the most influential African American leader in the civil rights movement in the 1960s. In 1957, King was elected president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. That was an organization that was formed to provide leadership for the civil rights movement. The ideals for that organization King took from Christianity, and the operational techniques he took from Gandhi. In the 11-year period between 1957 and 1968, King traveled over 6 million miles. He spoke over 2,500 times. He appeared wherever there was injustice, protest, and action. And while doing all of that, he wrote 5 books as well as numerous articles. In these years, he led massive protests in Birmingham, Alabama, and that caught the attention of the entire world, providing what he called a coalition of conscience and inspiring his letter from a Birmingham jail. I read through that letter again in preparation for today's message, and it's written as a response to the Christian and Jewish leaders in Birmingham who criticized King for his actions. And one of their criticisms was that King was an outsider. He wasn't part of the Birmingham community, and therefore he had no right and no reason to be and to work there. So this part of the letter responds directly to that critique and addresses the theme of unity. Christian unity, national unity, and I would even say human unity. King wrote, "But more basically, I am in Birmingham because injustice is here. Just as the prophets of the 8th century BC left their villages and carried their 'Thus saith the Lord' far beyond the boundaries of their hometowns, and just as the Apostle Paul left his village of Tarsus and carried the gospel of Jesus Christ to the far corners of the Greco-Roman world, so I am compelled to carry the gospel of freedom beyond my hometown. Like Paul, I must constantly respond to the Macedonian call for aid. Moreover, I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow, provincial, outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds. Now, as much as ever, in the church, in our nation, and in our world, we need to recognize that we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Let's make that a good thing, working to build up rather than to tear down, moving toward a goal of the common good rather than closed-minded self-interest. It starts with us, carrying the gospel into our homes, into our hometowns, and into the world. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again tomorrow.